man, I just found out this is another one of those. Oh, we're filled, so we're not saving this for you. Ha ha. It sucks. All right. Yeah, kids, I'm sorry I'm late, but I had to change a lot of the pictures to show off these albums and everything from web and all that kind of stuff to JPEG, and so we can actually show off. The dude I know for 10 years now over here, Eric, said, you pick them. And so I did. So we're getting a very rock and roll centric. Then again, I did also look for Muppets. But I did get a very rock and roll set group of album covers to talk about. We're going to be talking about music tonight, letting the comics rest a little bit. Let you know, this is what I listen to while I read comics, that kind of thing. It's going to be cool. Obviously, this comes from MK asks us what song do you like better than the other, and he's always trying to put me and Eric against each other by bringing up The Cure or Styx and other things that obviously Eric's more into. You are more into what was it? No, it's not prog rock. What was it called with The Cure and all that kind of stuff in the 80s? It actually had a name at the time.
Just indie music.
Indie rock? Alternative, I think they called it.
Well,
at the time.
Yeah, indie alternative.
Yeah.
Because not everybody was on indie labels.
Yeah, that's it was like The Cure and the Butthole Surfers and stuff like that. And yeah. I heard some of each. Say again?
So probably not who I would have named second, but
that's what came into my butthole. That's the first thing that came up to me after Cure. I've got problems, sir. Henry says, Englentine, you can pretty much say any Iron Maiden album cover is cool. I thought that you would have selected Grand Illusion. That's a cool one. I did, but when it came to some, I was like, okay, pick your favorite. Because I joked with Eric. We've got 13 Styx albums to talk about, which is the original, from Wooden Nickel on up. But no, for some, I was like, this is the best cover from this band. I did put in a couple of, but it was just more of a case of didn't really have time to eliminate. So they're here. I think we're going to have some, and basically it's my choices. I don't know if we're going to rank them. I don't have a tier list set up, so I don't know if we're going to rank them like we normally would, but let's talk about the album covers. Is it a good one? Is it not a good one? Let us know. What is your favorite maybe from that particular band, and your favorite music, your favorite songs off of an album, even if it's not one of the ones that I'm showing. Maybe what I'm showing reminds you of something as well. Let's see. Personally, I like Iron Maiden Power Slave cover. Well, get used to disappointment. All right. Let's see if you want to check them out or not. It's up to you. Sepultura Rise, Meatloaf Bat Out of Hell. Well, we'll see that one. Meatloaf Dead Ringer. For a little bit, it was that and Read 'em and Weep as well. But I did end up with, because I didn't eliminate down to the last one, I do have 2 Meatloaf up here. And yes, they are drawn by Bernie Wrightson. Alrighty. So, let's get this started. Other than one album cover, Eric has no idea what's going to pop up. And the first one that I've always loved was very simple album, and it's Judas Priest, British Steel. I've just always dug this. It's very simple. And part of the hand is missing, and I always thought it's because they're holding up a razor blade. Like the fingers are moving in on it as well. Obviously, the thing is cut to make it look like the fingers are being cut into. But I just think this is pretty cool. You guys can rank it on a yes or no scale, or what you like about it or what you dislike. What do you think, Eric?
It's a neat cover. I've never been a Priest listener, so
two songs. maybe
I mean, it's
3.
cool.
Yeah, I mean, I like Breaking the Law. I like the You Got Another Thing Coming. But okay, next. I know there's some people out there who are hardcore Priest fans, and I was like, yeah, I like 2. I like 2 songs, but I got to admit, when looking at the albums, this is the one that stood out to me.
Look,
This
there
is
are
the one.
plenty of people that will go as deep into Priest as you go into Maiden.
There you go. Now, my Maiden, I listened until Bruce Dickinson dropped out. And then, in all honesty, I just stopped. Even when Bruce Dickinson rejoined the band, I was like, eh. So I like Iron Maiden. I like Killers. I like oh goodness gracious, their most famous album, The Number of the Beast, Power Slave. I love all of them right up to Seventh Son. Absolutely fantastic albums. At one point in time, just like I could have with Styx, I could tell you what album started and what was the songs on that one and so forth and so on. But I stopped being a teenager. All right. Hey, Grand Admiral. So I keep forgetting you start early on Wednesday. Yep. That Judas Priest album cover always got my attention. It's pretty cool, says Eric and Boyd. Love Meatloaf. Me too, although I'm not allowed to eat it because it's got too many onions. Now, I'm a huge Meatloaf fan, and at a point in time, I had all of his albums. I think I might have some, or at least I broke them down with the songs and everything. My family, as I would play them in my car, my family goes, he's got one song. Jim Steinman only knows how to write one song, and he doesn't know how to end it. I can agree with that. Jim Steinman, who writes most of the songs for Meatloaf, doesn't know how to end a song, and that's why they're all 15 minutes long. Let's see what else we got. We got the Hellos and the How Are Yous, British Steel, good album, Metal Gods, Rapid Fire, Steeler, etc., says Henry. All righty. Fear of the Dark is a great metal album. I did have that one as well. All righty. Moving on. I don't know how well you're going to know these because I know these are mostly my picks, but apparently the second one, and I'm just going how StreamYard layered them. I didn't rearrange them or anything. And this is what they put next. I love this freaking cover. I like the puppet. He says Muppets, past master of puppets, and it goes through the music Into the Dead. I mean, just the story of that. This is their music can raise the dead. It's so awesome. It'll raise the dead. I love the story of this album, not to mention the fact that it's a great album. Oh, I thought if you want to take a turn.
Honestly, the only Metallica record I'm really familiar with is Ride the Lightning.
Ride the Lightning?
Yeah.
But what do you think of the cover?
The cover's cool. It's funny how I said, Metallica. Well, I said, you showed 2 album covers, and they're 2 that still sell in 2026.
Yeah.
Which,
by the way, yeah. Walmart has this for $5.99, and even though I've got the songs, I was thinking because I transferred all my music onto computer, deleted accidentally half of it. By the way, I was just getting rid of songs. I absolutely took out my entire Weird Al Yankovic collection. I am sad by that. But yeah, this is such great, and Walmart has it for $5.99. Let's see,
really
nice, yep. Yeah, you can.
Well, I know it's been reissued again, so I'm wondering if they have if they have a backlog of the old pressings.
Could be. Meatloaf, the meal is too heavy for me. Usually too many onions or ketchup or eggs. Yeah, it's the onions that keep me from it. Nice going to start the ranking streams earlier now. Yeah, we're trying. I should have started it even earlier, but I didn't have everything transferred into JPEG, so it would show up here. The first 6 or 7 Moody Blues covers are very cool. Tony, I got to tell you, Moody Blues wasn't even in my mind. It wasn't something. I did this today, and I was just going, okay, what's something we've talked about? What have I heard? Moody Blues, didn't even think about them. So we'll be doing this again. Eric and Boyd, not impressed by this. Hello to Desert Rose, and hello to Desert Rose. Music is good, but the album cover doesn't do it for me. Okay. Yeah, it's kind of a casual thing. Let's talk music. Like what, even if you see this, if there's a song you like, or if this reminds you of another album or something. This is very casual tonight, kids. We've got a lot to get through. Also, at the time, Master of Puppets was cutting edge when it came out, says Henry. So can we commission an album cover ranking? Yes, you can, sir. Next up, you were asking about the Iron Maiden. I went through them all, and I picked my favorite. This is one that I actually took the time out to do it. If not, I would have had damn near every cover that features Eddie on it. But my favorite of the Iron Maiden is Somewhere in Time. The detail on this album cover is out of the freaking world. The music is awesome.
Christopher Reeve looks awful in that movie photo.
Yo, is that Jane Seymour's
on there?
That's her dead hand. That's her dead hand right there.
Oh,
yeah. It's where's the penny? You think the penny would be represented here? But my God, you know what? But yeah, I didn't even notice there was a lighter on this album. That's your profile picture, by the way. But no, I love the detail on this album. It's incredible. It's very well painted. The colors pop. This is absolutely one of the most beautiful and disturbing album covers out there. Easily. Let's see it. Maiden's Life After Death double bout album. All of them do, Grand Admiral. Yeah, that Iron Maiden cover is pretty good. Somewhere in Time. Caught Somewhere in Time. That one's great. Oh my gosh, there's a song. It's based on a story. And I am forgetting. This is how my brain doesn't work. It's not Rime of the Ancient Mariner. That's on another one. Stranger in a Strange Land. Love that one as well. Great music on this one. Have you ever heard this, Eric?
I'm sure I have.
Yeah, it's freaking incredible. I agree. I like Power Slave. Somewhere in Time is cool, though, says Henry. Yep. This album cover was homaged by Murder Falcon. Okay. The comic? Cool. My favorite Meatloaf song is For Crying Out Loud. That is an amazing song. He also does another one on an album you'll see a little bit later called Read 'em and Weep. That Not a Dry Eye in the House. Amazing. But yeah, For Crying Out Loud, that boy sings in that one. He hits some great freaking notes. Let's see, Made in Japan, another one. This album cover, okay, got that. Okay, let's go. I'm not putting any lines or anything. Let's just talk albums and music. And once again, I get it. Eric didn't have time to put in any but one, so it's basically you guys are ranking my favorite album covers and talking about them. But there were a couple of where it's like, okay, this is something I know Eric likes, so I added it in. The first of, I think, 2 Beatle albums. This is an iconic cover. It's a great freaking photograph. Look at this photograph. Every time I do, it makes me go, wow, they're skinny. They did not eat, and they had all the money in the world. What do you think of this one?
For those who weren't with us the other night when we were talking about this, I was watching a video the other day about people on album covers, and they tracked down the guy in the background. If you look down the street under the tree,
right here,
the guy was 50 years old when this was done. He made it into his 90s. He didn't like the Beatles, couldn't have cared less. Had a copy of the album, but had no desire to ever play it. His wife learned one of the songs on the album to play at a wedding, but they said he just never cared. It's just, it's just one of those little rock oddities.
I have this, by the way, as many do, I am sure, on Rock Band. Like for a little bit, if you guys remember when we were playing songs on plastic instruments, and that was a thing. But I remember they actually sold entire Beatles albums to play, and we had this album and everything. It's got amazing music on it. I am looking it up, by the way. I don't remember everything off this, but Now I'm looking at it. There's not one of these is not a banger. I think Because might be the least of them, but Come Together, Oh Darling, Here Comes the Sun, something, Octopus's Garden, Because, Maxwell's Silver Hammer, one of my favorite. I Want You, She's So Heavy. These are some excellent freaking songs. That is absolutely fantastic album here. Down came Maxwell Silver Hammer. I love that one, man. Rock Band was great. Don't front. Oh, you were about to say something? Let's see. What do we got going here? Grand Admiral said, I'm going to tell myself I had a crush on Tiffany when I was a kid. I had her poster hid behind an Iron Maiden Number of the Beast blacklight poster, so my buddies wouldn't know. Yes, the music we had to listen to in private because our heavy metal friends wouldn't understand. I get it. I was listening to stuff like Frank Sinatra. You know, and by the way, I'm a movie soundtrack fan, and my mom had me into Broadway stuff. So, yep, I get it.
I worked with a guy in the late 80s that listened to almost exclusively hard rock, heavy metal, and Debbie Gibson.
You like what you like. I mean, I liked Out of the Blue. That was fine. My thinking was, you know, it's good to have an eclectic taste in music.
Not gonna lie, we just thought he was gay.
Oh, okay. By the way, yeah, for us, a band I truly love now, because all my friends were into heavy metal and hard rock and the hair bands and all that kind of stuff. If I admitted that I liked the music of Duran Duran, they would have labeled me as homosexual. And I got to tell you, I didn't like it when it was out, but George Michael, when I listened to it, I was like, holy shit, that man's got a good voice and he's got some good music as well, which is weird because everybody liked Karma Chameleon. I think that cleared everybody. After that, okay, once you like Culture Club, anything Culture Club, the whole gay thing should be out the window anyway.
I disagree. Because
really?
Culture Club had a little bit of new wave crossover.
Uh-huh.
You had to stretch to see it, but a lot of the same people like stuff like Thomas Dolby and Dexy's Midnight Runners liked Culture Club.
Yeah.
So that kind of, well, honestly, Wham had a little of that. George Michael solo was, I said it's, let's just say that he was definitely George Michael, a solo artist, was way more of a gay icon than George Michael, one of the two members of Wham.
Which is weird because he looks so much gayer in Wham. So much gayer.
But they didn't, you didn't think about it in those terms. You just looked at it like, the girls looked down and said, man, those are two good looking guys. Mm-hmm. Because you didn't really think about, that they look gay. I mean, but yeah, it's weird. I always wondered if honestly, now I think about it. Remember I said there should have been a movie with DJ Jazzy Jeff, Peter Scolari, and Alex Winter. Well, I think you could throw Andrew Rigsby in there.
Could be, yeah. Oh, by the way, there is a movie. I also had to admit that I'm a Hugh Grant fan when it comes to movies. But he did a movie with Drew Barrymore called Music and Lyrics, where he basically plays Andrew Wrigley or whatever his name is. He was in a 80s pop band, and he was the other guy. The one dude went off to be this big star, and he gets hired to write a song for a new up and comer. It's actually pretty good movie. Let's see. Rock Band was great. Don't front. I always played either the drums or sang, and it was a great time. Loved it. Yeah. Let's see. I like the movie The Ruddles, says Tony. Oh, it's cool. Never loved the Beatles, said Hero Angel. And we get this is iconic. I like Sgt. Pepper's. Hold your horses. Hold them horses. Eric Boyd, yeah, man, I was a closet new wave fan while hair bands and metal was pumping. I still liked the other genres, but not as much as the new wave and the late 70s, early rock. My mom and dad, especially my dad, he would sit me down and would listen to the lyrics and he would ask me to interpret the songs, which I kind of appreciate. Like back then, I was like, oh, no, you know, because it's my dad. I thought, you know, okay, do I need to answer the same way he wants me to? But I like it now because now I could hear lyrics and everything. And even back then, I was pissing people off by telling them what their songs meant. One girl was like, "Oh my gosh, I love No More Words." Really? It's so romantic. He's saying, "Don't tell me you love me, fuck me." And when I pointed that out and I explained it to her, she hated me for it. My wife loved a song called "Bed of Roses" by Bon Jovi, and I had to point out to her, you do know he's basically saying that even though you're the love of my life, I'm still going to bang this waitress right now. It's not, you know, I showed her the lyrics and everything. And she's like, you know, didn't appreciate that. I got into arguments with my brother about Duran Duran. He doesn't get why I like him. Union of the Snake, man. That is such a great freaking song. I forget. I think it's like seven of the seventh or something like that. I don't know, but that's the album. That is such a great one.
You know, I'm going to change my tune on Bon Jovi.
Okay.
It takes talent to make infidelity boring.
That's funny. Gayer than the dudes in Prince's band, The Revolution. That's coming as well. My female friends pointed out George Michael was on the frou-frou side. I did not even know. Yeah, I have no gaydar whatsoever. Dana Carvey's improv. Anissa Broccoli. Yeah, that was amazing, by the way. Look up my ass. Look at it. If you don't look at it, it may destroy you. I remember that line. That was it. If you don't acknowledge it, it may destroy you. I love almost every kind of music except for the same that some that I won't mention. This one gets a 10. I play 4 musical instruments and it's a mix, everything from classic to rock, says Desert Rose, and heavy metal and beyond. All righty. Never liked Bon Jovi or Mellencamp. Well, everybody likes and dislikes what they want.
I just have one thing to say to that.
What's up?
Clint, I love your taste in music.
All right, so I picked this one. I know Eric's mentioned
Give me a moment to savor that sentence.
Okay, go on ahead.
Yeah, can you highlight it?
Oh,
maybe put it in like old English letters.
I can't do that, but there you go.
That's beautiful. That's glorious.
All right. John Mellencamp has 2 decent albums. No, I'm sorry. Why don't I just take that and put it in one, call it his greatest hits? It's the yeah.
It's not that it's not that they're bad. It's just it truly are. If vanilla was music, it's them.
You know, I in my head, it popped off. Now maybe it's not Bon Jovi to you, but if you talk about, say, like the music of Poison, I could say that is the definition of hair metal. When people talk about, like, obviously, if you are listening to a genre of music, you recognize the differences a whole lot more than everybody else does. That's just the way it is. I don't listen to rap. Every bit of it sounds alike, but I'm sure that there's somebody who's way into rap who could tell me the little intricacies that they see. Oh, you're like that with the music like The Cure and all that crap. I listen to a lot of it. It sounds exactly the same, which is probably the way you perceive a lot of the music I like. But when you're into it, you can hear that. But if you ask me, I would say there are bands, and most of them came towards the end of the whole 1980s hair metal, rock and roll kind of thing, that you could look at and go, that's hair metal. Like what everybody else believes it to be, that is it.
Well, I think hair metal was designed to have a shelf life. I mean, as a product of I would argue the last great era for just, I don't know exactly how to put, the last great era of fun, unapologetic fun, because with the 90s came Yeah, even though I like grunge, like Nirvana bands like that,
Yeah.
way more than hair metal. It also brought in, unhappiness, political correctness, and nonsense that we're dealing with to this day. Hair metal was just, like I said, it was just unapologetically fun. Now, when I said Nirvana, like I said, put hair metal in a timeout. You notice it didn't stop the Metallicas of the world because the hard rock bands kept going. And that's why I say the hair metal was kind of like, it was a pocket, kind of like, ska was huge for a while. Now it's back to where, it's like the musical versions of NASCAR. It hit the mainstream for a while, but now it's back to being the niche that it is.
I completely agree with you on this.
And I'm not knocking the music, because I said it is fun. It was never I have control of the stereo. What am I going to put in? The Jam or Poison. Well, that's an easy choice for me. But if someone has control and puts in Poison, I'm not going to go either.
Part of my resistance to 90s music is that I just thought this isn't fun. By the way, I actually like the band Fun. But that was part of it. It was like, God damn, because at that point in time, I'm an adult and all these people are trying to write about life. I'm like, you know nothing, Jon Snow. And now I'm definitely like that. Now I can't. These kids are trying to tell me how. They're not trying to tell me. They're trying to tell their generation.
Okay, that's that. I can't go along with that, because Bob Dylan wrote amazing songs in his early 20s. Think of all the great works of literature that were composed, that were written by people very early in life. Talent is talent. Now, granted, a 22-year-old 60 years ago had more life experience than a 32-year-old does now.
Yeah.
But that's neither. I guess that's.
You know what? You're right. Jewel is a great poet.
Well, when she went through her bimbo phase, I loved watching her play guitar in a leather bustier and micro mini skirt. That's all I got to say about that. Moving on.
All right. Let's talk about this one. I put this one up there for you. Don't give a shit. Next. Okay. Thank you. Because other than the fact that my niece is named after Rihanna, the song here, I couldn't care less. I put this up because it getting Fleetwood Mac gets brought up a lot.
I like the album that preceded it better, the self-titled one.
Yeah.
And I know I don't have a lot of company there, but I just liked it better.
I like Landslide, and I'm sure there's a couple of them that I might listen to, and I know the words through osmosis at this point. Okay, fine. Fleetwood Mac is garnish. It's there. You don't necessarily have to eat it. It's not going to fill you up like a meal. Let's see what everybody else is saying.
You're shortchanging them a little bit, but I'm not. I don't need to hear any more Pink or Fleetwood Mac in my life.
Let's see. The only rap. Go ahead.
So there you go. You can't discount the talent. I mean, this is one of the. I don't necessarily see it as such, but you poll 100 critics, and a lot of them are going to have them on their top 25 of all time lists. So
you know what? I've had a lot of people tell me the Traveling Wilburys are crap. Look at the talent on that, by the way, I love the Traveling Wilburys.
I've never heard them referred to as crap.
Oh, I have many times. And I don't get it.
No, Rob doesn't count. He hates everything.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there you go. Ken K says the only rap I ever liked was Fat Boys with the Beach Boys, Blondie Rapture. There's a couple of rap songs that have escaped and or have actually gotten to me that I pretty much like. I do like the Beach Boy, Fat Boys thing. There was a couple. I'm That Type of Guy by LL Cool J. Also going back to Cali from him as well. Let's see. I used to be into rap, and I could tell you the differences. There are even subgenres, and guys speak with different accents and levels of IQ. The popular stuff is usually very low quality. Maybe that's why. I've heard a couple of people I liked. Goodness gracious.
Who said that?
That was Rhaegar, our resident.
I'll
He's
agree
our
with that
token,
100%.
remember. Yeah.
No, I'll
Say
agree with
again?
that 100% because a lot of genres, the better. And I said, in the 60s, the popular music was also the best. Look at I mean, Who, Kinks, Beatles, Stones, Birds, blah 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 blah. And you go fast forward 30 years. You can't say that. I bet the most popular music was NSYNC, and some of the bands like that actually played instruments were wouldn't have. They're kind of like saying that they were great. It was like saying Donny Cates is great. Okay, for the moment, put him back 20 years, and he's writing backup features in an annual. That's so to say when Rhaegar says that the best stuff didn't get big, it's because, as I want to say, there's a reason why they call the masses the masses. You have to reach the most people possible. A lot of the better stuff is not designed to do that, whether it's television, music, movies, anything. So I totally understand that.
All righty. Let's see. I kind of lost where I was, so I apologize. I know I'm skipping over some. Megadeth Peace Sells, fantastic cover. If only we were going to see that tonight. I don't mind Fleetwood Mac's music, but all I ever heard through the years was all the drama. I still don't care. Just play the music. Yeah, I get that. Every music genre is kind of like that, though. You really have creative people, and then you have straight up slop. Yeah, it's like, they find some, even with hair metal. Even with the hair metal, you would have people who were really good who kind of got pushed into it, but they were actually a little step beyond it, or they're just different. The only reason was it's the time to put on big hair and makeup of some sorts. Skid Row was actually a really kind of more of a speed metal band, and they had 3 hits that did not represent the rest of the album. I think Motley Crue is not hair metal. There's they came in when it was more theatrical, more off of what's the not Bay City Rollers, Buster Poindexter,
New York Dolls,
and New York Dolls. That was where they were getting their look from, but they were more they were harder. It was a different. Motley kind of mixed.
Closest anybody came to walking both worlds, I thought.
Yeah,
and you asked for it, but there was more to them. Maybe if that makes any sense.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Them, Def Leppard, Aerosmith, when they came back, they were all thrown into the hair metal genre, and they're not. They just weren't. So there were some who were in there that didn't exactly deserve to be put there because they were just, it was the time, and that's how they marketed the music.
No, the time was R&B.
If the kid can't make you come, Led Zeppelin 4, the inside cover is the best part. Let's see, we have some of my generation of heavy metal, 2008. It sounds of its time. Words of Avenged Sevenfold. Oh, I remember Avenged Sevenfold. What was the one? I remember my daughters love it. Dun 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 dun. You know that one? What is that song? It was on the movie 9, that puppet movie. This cover is a 5, but the album is an 8, says Clint. Glad to have gotten Buckingham Nicks on CD a few months ago, says Jackson Raker. Nice cover, but their best album is Mirage.
Oh, Jackson, you just like the boobies. You try to fool.
That's not a bad thing. The Fleetwood Mac album might be iconic, but the album cover is chump. Whatever. Raven. Oh, I can't read it in Raven. So sorry.
Raven.
Fleetwood Mac gets way too much airplay on the radio, says Eric and Boyd. Agree. My favorite Poison song is "Don't Forget Me." I won't forget you, baby. It's I won't forget you. That's it.
So they stole the riff from "If I Could Turn Back Time."
If I can turn, yeah.
I saw something popped up like, YouTube shorts. Something popped up of Cher this year, running and jumping on stage. 79.
Damn.
I mean, granted, it wasn't. I mean, she wasn't gonna like dunk a basketball or anything, but I'm 63. I can't move like that.
Let's see. I'm like rapping. I'm super picky on it, says Hero Angel. Fleetwood Mac is my favorite band of all time. They can never be overplayed, says King K. God bless you for it. I get shit for sticks. You can take a couple of hits for Fleetwood Mac.
I gotta ask Ken K. Do you like the Peter Green, like bluesy version of Fleetwood Mac also, or just more so when they, after he left and Buckingham, I guess, took control of the band?
Clint is you are 100% right on this. Warren is one of those bands. Uncle Tom Cabin is killer. It's an awesome band, but all people know is Cherry Pie. If you ever listen to him, he's talking about this great album he just wrote, and they asked him, "We need a hit. Can you do something?" In like 3 minutes, he wrote Cherry Pie, and he says, "And now I'm going to be known as the fucking Cherry Pie guy." and that is such a great album. If I were to put all the albums together, that's got to be in the top 100. And that sounds like it. Oh yeah, well it might be 83 or something. But think of all the albums you've ever listened to. Just in the top 100 is a very small. That's what I ever thought. Oh, can you pick out your top 10 songs? Probably not really, because think of all the songs you've listened to in your entire life, especially if you're 55 or 60. It would be, this is my favorite songs right now. Yeah, okay. But of all time, you're going to miss something. Let's see. We've really lost something with vinyl album covers, and VHS Laserdisc covers don't exist more. Yeah. The video to I Won't Forget You Baby is cool. It's a montage of them on tour with the other major bands. And let's see. I'm going to try to skip Uncle Tom's Cabin, another great song. The lyrics tell it. I know, right? It tells a great story, Tony Hayes. I'm going to skip a few, and I apologize, guys, but we got to move on. And here we go. Next album cover. I think two good songs, but I got to admit that when we're talking just straight up album covers, no doubt, Tragic Kingdom. I've always liked this one. This is a roadside attraction advertisement. And that's why I've always liked it. I can drive down the country roads in Florida, and I will see this on the wall, not just like the No Doubt, but I see this in buy these oranges, buy this, this kind of thing. And that's why I've always loved this album cover. The songs, I'm not a big No Doubt fan. I mean, what is it? Don't Speak, right? That was them.
I don't know if that's on that one or not.
I don't care. It's a great album cover.
This one's pretty upbeat. I like that album.
Yeah.
No Doubt was more punk before this. And I think she ended up, cleaning everybody out but one from the old band, if I'm not mistaken. But
yeah,
that's neither here nor there. I didn't really care for a whole lot before or after that, but I did like this. I might still have this.
Oh yeah, it says, I'm looking up, it says Don't Speak and Just a Girl. Those are the only two songs that I've heard. Just a Girl's a little bit messed up because of the Captain Marvel, but nah.
Sunday Morning is a great song.
And let's see, what are we saying?
Not to be confused with the Velvet Underground version of Sunday Morning, which is a better one, but I digress.
Something Past 95. Love the Spiderweb song, but other than that, not much on the album. My favorite song is Save Yourself by Stabbing Westward Straight Up. Great song. Gets me pumped, says Clint. It's sort of like my 90s Bohemian Rhapsody. If it comes on while I'm running late, I will finish it. Smashing Pumpkins, Melancholy, and the Infinite Sadness. I would never have thought of Smashing Pumpkins. I'm not a big fan. But I do know the album you're talking about. You're right. That is a good one. The Infinite. Yeah.
Named an album after a silent movie star.
I like No Doubt. I almost saw them when they first hit the scene, says Eric and Boyd. They played in Springfield, Missouri on tour in a small venue. Couldn't make it due to work. Well, it's tragic. No doubt, says Henry. I was helping a friend renovate his home, and he played the hell out of Tragic Kingdom. I began to like it, and then I began to hate it. It'll come back around. When I would walk 500 miles. I'm not a big fan of albums that are just straight up pictures, so there has to be something to it, as you see here with the No Doubt. I mean, that's just a picture of her and the band in the background, but it's done in a way where it's not just a photograph. Much like Amy, I'd be like, it's a photograph. You know, there are a couple, if they add a little something to it or give it a little style. This is style. I got to tell you, who's next? I bought this album. I thought it was a greatest hits album. I'm not kidding. And if you listen to the songs that are on this album, it's a freaking greatest hits album. Baba O'Riley, Going Mobile, Bargain, The Song Is Over, Behind Blue Eyes, Getting in Tune, Won't Get Fooled Again. This was the first Who album I ever bought. Love the cover, love everything that's being put up here. And the album itself is just a banger. What do you think, Eric?
Oh, absolutely. I liked everything up through Who Are You?
Yeah.
And then a song here and a song there after that. But yeah, I said that. Yeah, but by that time, hell, that was like 15 years, give or take, of solid music by 1979. And yes, I mean, that's a lot to hope for beyond that. I mean, but yeah, this is a great album.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It is. Like I said, I bought it and I thought it was the greatest hits album.
This is on everybody's top 100, so that's
as well. It should be.
I agree.
Let's see. Yes, I hate simple pose covers. Do something if you're on the cover, or get someone to paint you on the cover. Says Jackson. We've got Who. Oh wait, The Who, says Eric and Boyd. I like stabbing. Really, you shouldn't, because I mean, even with like in the frames, I could take these out. If you slab them, it's just one of those things where like your comic's stuck in there. It's not really a comic book if it's slabbed. I don't think that's, yeah. I mean, but hey, if it's you, it's your kind
Emily Latella.
Yeah. No. Okay. I thought you were going to go with Rosanna Dana. All right. That's what I was trying to
do. Emily Latella, the one that always got the words wrong.
Never mind. That's what I was going for. I was waiting for it. Yeah. Okay. Not the same after Moon passed, says Jackson on The Who. All righty. My next album pick for you guys. I don't like pose covers, but if you're going to make your entire band look like piano keys, I'm for it. I'm A-okay with it, man. So I put this up. You're more of a Blondie fan than I am. You could tell me about this and if you think it's a good cover or not.
Well, I mean, they're standing on piano keys, but that was the look back then, the skinny tie era.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I love the skinny ties. Fat ties look ugly.
This is, yeah, I said Blondie, yeah, very, very good band. I haven't listened to them enough to go, oh yeah, this album has this, and this, but yeah, I said that they're like mid to late 70s stuff was, you know, borderline punk, and you know, they were very successful. I mean, yeah. Then the Pretenders came along.
Yeah. This is the One Way or Another, Heart of Glass as well. I don't recognize anything else on it though, but I like the album cover. For a pose cover, it's actually pretty good. One time Keith Moon was so messed up on pills he couldn't play the drums. The rest of the band members pulled a member of the audience to play the drums. Wow. I think the Who cover I like most is Quadrophenia. Let's see. Agreed. Great album, but supposed to be favorite album covers as a cover. Pretty basic. I disagree with you. The Monument alone, the posing, where it is on the field, everything about that, I disagree. I mean, yeah, everybody's got their opinions, but I just don't agree with that. Gravity Kills was good for forgotten industrial band known for Guilty. Hold was guilty. Hold was my favorite song, says Grand Admiral. All righty. Yeah, good choice with the Blondie, says Eric and Boyd. Videodrome, good movie with Blondie in it. Yes. All righty. What is that stone thing on the? It's a monolith, kind of like in the movie 2001: Space Odyssey. All right, next one. I don't know if anybody's going to have a bad thing to say, but I've got to tell you, you're wrong. This is Black Sabbath by Black Sabbath. And this is, first of all, this is one of the creepiest album covers I've seen. And that's why I put it up over the other ones. It definitely is better. I don't know what's going on Paranoid. I was never a fan of that one, but this is a horror album.
Yeah,
this is like the Halloween album cover.
The lady in the cover, not a fan of the music.
Mm-hmm.
That was something else I learned in that video. She was like the photographer's girlfriend or something like that.
And just okay, now you're on this forever and a day. I mean, that is actually kind of cool.
Well, I mean, she knew what the music was when she did the cover. I mean, she just wasn't a fan of the music. I mean, it was a job. I mean, that, to be fair,
I'm trying.
This was pretty jarring at the time. I mean, this was, there wasn't a whole lot of music like this when this came out.
Let's see. This had Black Sabbath, The Wizard, NIB. That's not bad, right? That's not bad at all.
It was where there was a little record store story.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, working it. It's like maybe 2010, 2011. This 70, some in the early 70s comes in, buys this album. And your first instinct is, man, that old person buying Black Sabbath. And you start doing the math in your head and you go, okay, they were 30 when that came out.
Yep.
And if they still kept their taste in music, which some people did, you're 70 now. Now you're 80, you're 85.
Think about that. The teenagers at Woodstock are our parents. If you're in your 20s or 30s, they're your grandparents. Yeah. And these are the ones getting high off an LSD, going to the Vietnam War and listening to Black Sabbath and the Doors. Some great freaking music. And you look at them, oh, they're so old and they're grandparents. Yeah, think about the life they've lived. Well,
that's just, like I said, when I was a kid, my mom was an Elvis kid. My dad hated rock and roll from day one because he was born in 1931 and he was an old 23 when Rock Around the Clock came out.
Yeah.
But now the parents and the grandparents of kids today, there it is right there. So I mean, I said it's like the age gap has shrunk due to longer and easier lives, people keeping their childhood interests through life. Because remember, there was a time when you were supposed to, put down the frivolities of youth and whatever, blah, blah, blah. Well, we don't do that anymore. So a lot of people keep their same taste in music, or it evolves, but you still like the stuff you listen to because it's not, they're not show tunes. Nothing against those. I mean, I love listening to, old, instrumentals, but you can be a grandfather that listened to Sabbath.
That is true. I could be. They need to get to work. That is something, because even our generation, we went through the fall of the Berlin Wall, the Red Scare. We went through just as much of it as our parents did. Well, I don't know if just as much. But we had that going on. Reagan challenged a lot of people in the 80s. You know, you had the high crime and in the 70s and such. There's a lot of stuff. Let's see. The Black Sabbath cover of "Evil Woman" is good, but I like the original version by Crow. It has a horn section, says Tony Hayes. That's another thing that we don't have anymore. The animation, Ralph Bakshi, and music movies, rock and roll, heavy metal. I like those. American pop. Desert Rose, what album was the song Nana, that was her original one. Holla back, girl, you ain't no holla back, girl. Woodstock, let's see, don't take the brown acid, says Henry James. Spiderweb was a cool song. Any Nazareth make the list? I forgot. I absolutely forgot. I was even thinking yesterday, put that Frank Frazetta album. We'll have to do this again because, come on. I mean, there's more great stuff out there. You ain't playing that devil music in this house, boy. Love Hurts, says Desert Rose. That was a good song. I like that one. Music really hasn't changed much since the dawn of the internet age, and I'd say probably since the 2000s.
Since we're doing covers tonight, obviously vinyl's had an amazing resurgence, and God, it has. But the newer bands, there's not a whole lot of imagination put into the album covers. Mainly because I think, and that's because the vast majority of their sales still come from downloads and streaming. So as opposed to like when this came out, when the only way to get this was, I think this might have even predated 8 tracks by a few years. So I mean, album, it's unrealistic, I guess, to expect album cover art to ever make a true comeback.
Yeah. Let's see. MK is saying, nice cover. I read some people were saying They Live was made to mock Reagan, but it seems more similar to modern times. Admittedly, both parties do this whole thing where they're able to look past their own thing and go to the other. But that was supposed to be. Say again?
John Carpenter admitted in an interview that his entire career was based on fighting Reagan's fascism.
Oh, yeah, I know. I was about to get to that.
Which is interesting because, Halloween was 2 years before Reagan was elected, and he was not the governor at the time. So, that's great. If you're going to virtue signal, at least get your timeline correct, John.
All right, let's see. Modern music has been dumbed and copies the past. I think it's very much... I think a lot of this is about a lot of the stuff, our comic books, the movies, music. It's become content. And I know you could say that everything is content, but I think if you look on a streaming service and you see movies like, say, Spartacus or Lawrence of Arabia, it's there, and you can say it's content, but it wasn't made to be content. It was made to be a movie. It was made to be something to be seen on this big screen and to be absorbed as you're in there. I think a lot of the stuff we see, I mean, I saw this, what I would say it was a good movie. It was entertaining. At the beginning of the year, there was a movie called Rip, and Matt Damon and Ben Affleck. And I watched it. And it was good for what it was. Didn't break any new ground. And it's forgotten, I mean, I could tell you what of some of the things that happen, but I think it's really designed to be consumed as much as, and I think that about music today, but even my hair metal that we have all agreed, and I would agree too, was so much of its time. I think that was meant to be listened to. It might be, you could play it at a party, but I think they actually took time to write those lyrics. I don't think this was Chat GTP. I think they took time and they wanted to make something great within that genre. But nowadays, I truly believe that a lot of what we see, we read, and we hear is simply just something to put out there to be consumed. Okay, if that makes any sense.
The songs that tend to get the most downloads, by and large, again, are designed for mass consumption. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of good music out there still, but it's not as well known. Like I said, my nephew has, the kind of taste where he could do, he could like rank his 10 favorite Jean-Luc Godard films. I mean, the kid's got an IQ off the freaking charts. And he's in, and when he was younger, he had no use for people like Bob Dylan. He made fun of us for liking Bob Dylan until he started realizing that the stuff he liked had its roots in people like Bob Dylan. And now he goes back and listens to all that. But he's got, there's a lot of stuff he listens to that's being done today that is very good. But I think as we get older, I think you find it's easier to go back than to go forward.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense. Like I said, my musical passion right now is hard bop jazz. I obviously wasn't around for it in the first, as it was being done. It was the late 50s, first half of the 60s.
I've decided I'm done with new music.
But I don't tend to seek out new jazz unless someone points out, hey, these guys replicate that sound. And there's a lot of that in new music in all genres. It's just if I'm, do I want to take the time to break in, I don't know. I can't even think of I'll say Portugal the Man, but they're probably old now. Or am I just going to go back and listen to my Clash albums again? So it's like, there's only, you're only here for so long, and there's only so much, that you feel like breaking in at a certain point.
Yeah. I agree with you completely. It's just after a while, like I said, I'm done with new music. I've got my music that I like, and I'm just going to listen to it over and over in a loop.
But I'm not going to yell at the cloud.
I'm fine with that.
It sucks either. I mean,
no.
I'm just not going to.
When I hear it, I probably will tell you the truth. Carole King's Tapestry. Once again, I usually don't like just picture albums, which this is. But what the are the eyeballs in the background? This has got a great use of shadows. The weird cats and everything. This is a woman who is off her freaking rocker, and I've always liked this album cover. The songs on it, I feel the earth move so far away. Those are pretty good. This is her version of Natural Woman as well, but not exactly my favorite album, but I absolutely do love this particular album cover, and I want to know what those two eyeballs in the background are. What do you think?
I don't know, but I would say, in my opinion, this is the second greatest album done by a female artist.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And
the first one being Ariana Grande in Wicked?
No, so the first being Joni Mitchell, Ladies of the Canyon, which isn't ever mentioned when they say what's the best Joni Mitchell. Everybody defaults to Blue. But I think Ladies of the Canyon is just an incredible album. Now, Carole King would probably, this or something by Aretha Franklin would probably be considered the best album any woman's ever done. This is a Governor piece.
All right.
And I absolutely love it.
Let me move on from this one. Let me move on from this one to another picture album. Another one, I just think the composition is good. The photo is good. I think this might be the last of them, but Bob Dylan, Free Willin'. I'm going to let you start off on this one since you're a bigger Bob Dylan fan than I am.
Okay. The woman, I think it was Susie, I forgot the last name, Latero or something like that. Mm-hmm. It might still be pulled up on my phone. Susie Rotolo. She was Bob Dylan's girlfriend at the time. And I said, and this album cover became so iconic. There is a version that there's something that only 30 copies got out, something on the inside of the where the hole is. that area, which I'm having a brain cramp and can't remember what the hell that's called. Where the song titles are, blah blah blah. And if you have one of those 30, it's worth like god awful amount of money. But this album itself became so iconic that her death in 2011, rated a little news feature. Susie Rotolo, the woman, the girl on the Freewheeling Bob Dylan album cover, but it's I like this album a lot. I think this is right before he truly hit his stride. But yeah, this is a really good album.
I got to admit, I'm not a Bob Dylan fan to the point where I just like Freewheeling. I love the album cover. This is going to sound shitty. It looks real, I feel the same way about Highway 61. That picture that was taken on that cover, I just like the composition of this one better. But I wanted to find out about Bob Dylan. Like I said, my father was very much find out who your bands are listening to and listen to them. So I would go in, when I would buy records, I would buy big bunches. Like I would buy 2 or 3, 4 at a time so I could listen to them and find out about the artist. Bob Dylan did not thrill me except for the Greatest Hits album. And I always thought Bob Dylan was a great songwriter, that, his songs sounded better with other people. So there's, other than the Greatest Hits, there's not one album I could point to and go, oh, I love that entire album, but I got to say, when we're talking about album covers, this is a great one, in my opinion.
If I can, if I say that Blonde on Blonde and Highway 61 Revisited is better than anything on your top 10 list, and I'm not saying your top 10, I'm saying in general.
Yeah.
99 times out of 100, I'm going to be right. Those two albums are just, but again, they're not for everybody, but I would say they're probably the greatest back-to-back albums anybody's ever done. And
like a Rolling Stone, Desolation
Boulevard.
There you go. I didn't know if it was Road or
Boulevard.
Yeah.
Boulevard is an album title. Yeah, Desolation.
I thought it was a song. Okay, I got
you.
There's also, but those are good. But like I said, I could take 1 or 2 songs, put them together off of a lot of albums, and create
any Dylan from the 60s through the mid 70s, just about straight through.
There you go. By the way,
any other band I have, though, so there's that.
The reason why I'm not sharing DeBarge is because, much like looking at the face of God, it would melt your brain, and I do not want to do that to anybody. Let's see. This is also fine, says Rhaegar. I'm more Lou Reed than Bob Dylan. Oh my gosh. You know what? I hadn't listened to Lou Reed Wild Side in forever and a day because they erased it from radio in Florida. It's played all around here. I like that. I love that song, by the way. Bob Dylan is a great songwriter and musician, but please don't sing, says Eric and Boyd. Look at the old cars. I know, right? Wait, England team. Okay, we got that one. I will never give up my childhood. I am still a big child, says Desert Rose. I adult part of the time, but I'm fine. I think there was I think my generation was the first one to really do it. But we grew up and went, wait a second. If I'm an adult and I can do whatever the I want, then I'm going to collect comics still. I'm going to watch Power Rangers and all that kind of stuff, So I never did that. Velvet Underground, White Light, White Heat are more my taste, as Hero Angel. That VW van in the background is cool. My brother-in-law says Tony Hayes had a cool one back in the day. It had a sync built into it. What's a really crying shame is that there have been no new edition covers. I feel like unsubbing. Well, I will call Bobby, Robbie, Ricky, and Mike. But I'll tell you, if I like the album, who cares what you like? Just saying.
The next one.
All right. Nice cover here also. Would you and Breen say the top 3 or top 5 most famous album covers are? Would you say that the Beatles Walking Across? Well, we had Abbey Road earlier.
No,
we're about to.
I want you to mention Velvet Underground and Nico. As I said, that's
legitimate.
That didn't pop up the banana. I mean, that's his
Oh yeah, it
iconic
did.
album covers.
It
But it's
did, but it's a
also
banana.
but it's also in my all-time top 20. And it was not a particularly successful album when it came out, but it is absolutely flawless. And as I said, it was Rhaegar said he's more Lou Reed than Bob Dylan. I'll go off the board and say I'm more John Cale than Lou Reed.
All right. I mentioned how if you're into heavy metal, don't like Duran Duran. There were some that would escape. Rio is a great freaking album, and it has a lot of great songs on it. And I've always liked this. I've always liked this cover as well. Even though I do think that one that says Seventh is my favorite album. When we're talking album covers, this one has it. He pauses to see if you say something.
No, I was just sharing an amusing moment with Coco.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Rhaegar, when I was in San Diego in the 2000s, you could see Volkswagen vans every time you turned around. A lot of Navy officers bought them when they weren't buying Jeep Cherokees and BMWs. Album covers, not albums. Yeah, but we're talking both. More, I would say, Henry, just have fun. You ever watch the second Parent Trap movie? They had a nice homage to the Abbey Road cover. I did not notice that. No. Let's see. I feel like there's been a ton of Abbey Road homages, shirts, memes. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yes. Good cover. Escape. What a Journey reference. I know, right? And I just didn't think of it. Like I said, we could do this again sometime. All right. With that, I'm going to move on. I'm going to move on to one of my favorite David Bowie albums. And that is David Bowie, Ziggy Stardust, and the Spiders of Mars. This is one of those. I don't even think this is a photograph cover. I think this is more of that's painted. It looks like it's been painted over a photograph. And yeah, I've always loved this. I've always liked just the composition, the shadows, the lighting, everything. And the album itself is awesome. What do you think?
No arguments. Cover's great. Music's great.
Yeah, I am a.
Why is he coming out of Kanye West's place?
Yeah, it's just I got to tell. I liked a few of his newer stuff, but I never really got into David Bowie's older stuff until I was actually an adult. To tell you the truth, probably near my 30s. And yeah, then it was like, all right. I tried to look. Let's see, Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders of Mars to see what was on it. And let's hold on. There we go. Okay, here we go. Just for fun, but wow, they were not helping me out at all. But okay, I'll just move on then. Let's see. Release states content, the film featuring songs Rise and Fall of Ziggy Stardust and Spiders. Well, they're talking about the movie. Get the fuck out of here. All righty. Anyway, good stuff. Good stuff. Let's see what we got as far as comments. See, ahem, Patrick Nagel had a lot of great places. Okay. Got it. Thanks. I thought it was, yeah, it is, but I don't want to hold everybody's conversation to only one thing, you know? If you see Ziggy Stardust, you're like, oh, I love the song so-and-so. Tell me. I want to hear about you guys. I want to hear, these are some of my favorite covers. And I went through these albums and I went through these artists and said, okay, from David Bowie, I really like this cover. From the Beatles, I like these covers. There are more than one. And if you agree, you disagree, let me know. If you like a song off of a certain album, let me know. I don't want to hold the conversation back or put it to only one thing tonight. Let it be all over the place and have fun with it. Let's see. Ranking Playboy centerfolds from the 1980s. Well, we could rank pictures, but not the actual centerfolds, yes. Diamond Dogs, my favorite cover from David Bowie. The album David Bowie's Diamond Dogs always disturb me. By the way, kids, that was on the list. Did it make it? It might have made it because there were a couple of them where I was going to pick like only one from this band, one from that band, but we ran out of time. But yeah, Diamond Dogs was in the running. I agree. It's a great album cover. While you guys are watching Centerfold covers, I'll be ranking historic race horses of the century, says Desert Rose. All righty. With that, let's move on. Oh, my goodness gracious. There was one night where I was singing a song from this album. I was actually singing this song, Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. We had just gone and saw the Elton John movie, the biographical movie, and I had this song stuck in my head. I've always liked this album cover. I like the painted style. I think we've lost something when everybody could just Photoshop and move stuff around. It's on movie posters, it's on album covers. There isn't this kind of painting going on, and it's awesome. The little piano, the big shoes, the heading off to On the Yellow Brick Road itself. It's a great painting. What do you think, Eric? Oh, did I lose it?
No. I was about to blow my nose.
No.
No, it's this is a cool cover. I never really paid attention to it before.
Yeah.
This is probably the longest I've ever looked at it. Again, I said, guy had a great decade of the 70s, especially the first half.
Yes. But listen to this. Funeral for a Friend, Love Lies, Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, the Jamaican Jerk-Off, Ballad of Danny Bailey is good. Candle in the Wind, the song has no title. I've seen that movie too. Dirty Little Girl, Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting, Benny and the Jets, Sweet Painted Lady, All the Girls Love Alice. There's so many bangers on this one. And the album itself, I agree with you. I don't think I've ever noticed that there's a castle on the top right, much less there's a little piano and a little musical note on this. There's so much I got to say. I thought I knew this one, but I like the fact that if you do look, he's tearing down an Elton John poster to reach Oz. That's actually kind of cool. Pretty neat and impressive album cover. All righty. Let's see. Tony, I'd rather look at horses while you guys look at girls. Let's see. Best two Beatle covers have to be Sgt. Pepper and Revolver. Yeah. I didn't. Okay, I'm going to do the debate. Best Frank Zappa cover. I didn't put any of his. Dressed like Elton in that cover for Halloween would be very cool. Man, how much would a pink satin jacket saying Elton John on the back? How much would that cost? I'm sure the platform shoes are going to be a pretty penny. Okay, kids, you knew they were going to show up. You knew it. You knew you were going to have to endure me talking just for a little bit. This is Styx album called Brave New World. This is the one that ended the band right here. Not technically, people say Kilroy was here dead. Because that was the one where it was like a big show and it wasn't just rock and roll. So they broke up. But what happened was Styx songs started to show up in commercials and a whole bunch of other things and movies, and they had a resurgence. So they got together and they made this album here. It's Brave New World. I love the painting. I love the depth of it that's done by the pillars and such like this. It's almost like you're looking through the Millennium Falcon cockpit. It's creating layer upon layer here to create this entire image. The album itself is pretty good, but after this, they were ready to go on tour. Dennis DeYoung got sick, and they said, "That's enough. We're done. Dennis, you're out." And that's this. So this is basically the last Styx album. Styx proper anyway. They got a new lead singer and they went out and they made some. They're okay, but they're not Styx anymore. But yeah, this is. I love this album cover. Absolutely love this album cover. Okay, Eric, tear into it.
That's a nice cover.
That's pretty cool, isn't it? Yeah. Dislike because of Styx, says Rhaegar. I knew you guys would. But really, what do you think? As plain as it is, I'm fond of Equinox. Equinox is a great album as well. I was thinking, and by the way, we do get a classic Styx album a little bit later, but unfortunately not the Equinox. Jack is 120 at the Elton John concert I went to. Wow. No, all jokes aside, this is a nice cover. Looks like something for a concept. It is. There is a novel called The Brave New World, and they kind of steered into that, and they wrote songs based on that, which is something that they said they didn't ever want to do again because Dennis DeYoung would come up with these concepts. Let's write songs towards this concept, and Tommy Shaw hated him for it. And then when they kicked Dennis DeYoung out of it, they started doing the same fucking thing. So there you go. Let me get the thing here. Cheesy as hell. Cool. It's a good cover. I like Grand Illusion better. No offense. None taken. Yeah, I like Supertramp a lot more, says Eric and Boyd. Let's see, futuristic. It's a nice cover. Styx in Chicago are going to be in Chicago this summer. I know I'm trying to get tickets. I want to get tickets to it. This is cool, but my favorites are Grand Illusion and Paradise Theater. I thought about Paradise Theater and I thought about Grand Illusion. Grand Illusion is the go-to for favorites from non-Styx fan even. But I like every fan of any band, you always kind of dig something that's a little bit more, what's it called when not a lot of people know it? I don't have the word in my head right now. England Teen. Okay, this covers a 10. Looks like mystical, like an MK background, Mortal Kombat. Also, question between Styx, Monkeys, and your other favorite band, which one can rival Rolling Stones' best album? I don't have a Rolling Stones best album. Eric's the fan. I'm not. I've tried. But it's much like Bob Dylan with me. The Rolling Stones is a greatest hits album. I've thought it might be fun to go through them again and listen and give honest reviews to it. But when I listened to them as a kid, I loved Hot Rocks, which is a greatest hits album. So I don't think that's really a fair thing. But if I were to tell people, okay, this is Rolling Stones, this is Styx, as it was mentioned before, listen to Grand Illusion. That's the one that Come Sail Away on it. Frankly, I would personally, Equinox is an incredible album that doesn't get quite as much love as the others, in Paradise Theater as well. Well, yeah, Paradise Theater. Yeah. And if I were to pick one, it would be Grand Illusion. Alan Parsons Project covers next time for what? Let me see. You Too Long Way Home. I used to play the crap out of Supertramp's Breakfast in America. I'm saving up for Clapton tickets. I'd be surprised if this wasn't his last tour. He's still alive. Wow. All righty. Next. There you go, kids. Like a Bat Out of Hell. I love this album. I love this album cover too. I mean, it's exactly what it says. A motorcyclist flying out of hell through a graveyard. Now, of course, Bat Out of Hell 2 has him kind of returning and almost hitting the bat in the background. But this is iconic. And every song on this is a banger. Every song on it is a banger. It's a fantastic album cover. What do you think, Eric?
I think it is slick to the point of being slippery, overproduced, but everything you said was right too.
Yeah,
it is. It is the most. It's. Oh my God! I don't know how to put it. It's like it's perfectly packaged pop rock. It's. Try as he may, I don't think he ever came close again. The team of Steinman and I forgot Meatloaf's real name, but
something O'Day.
Yeah, but it's this is like that. To me, this is like that 250 lifetime hitter that won a batting title because he hit 340 one year. That's Bat Out of Hell.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, he had, of course, when he came back with Bat Out of Hell 2, he had I'd Do Anything for Love, but I won't do that. I like more albums than that. Dead Ringer is a great freaking album. That was mentioned earlier by someone. Read 'Em and Weep is incredible. I'm gonna show another album cover. It's a little bit more noirish that I love to death. Yeah, incredible album. There is not a bad song on this album, and I agree with you. Overproduced, and Jen Steinman can't write a song that's less than 18,000 minutes long.
I would do Anything for Love, but I won't do that. Could have been song 8 on Bat Out of Hell. It was almost like that was left over from that. They said, hey, let's put that on this one. It didn't quite make the cut the first time. That's what it sounds like. It's just, but again, like I said, this was magic. I mean, good Lord. I said, my mom played this to death. And not that she didn't listen. I mean, she actually went to a stadium show to see Steely Dan, Steve Miller, and I forgot who the headliner was. Eagles, I think Steely Dan and somebody else at a stadium show. But yeah, this hit everybody. If you liked hard rock, there was enough of this to hook you. If you like pop, if you like rock, I mean, this, I said this, I mean, and this didn't stay on the charts as long as Dark Side of the Moon, but it hung around for a long time.
Yeah, it did. I used to tell a joke. I picked up a hitchhiker, beautiful woman, big tits, great hairs, great skin, gorgeous, the kind of woman you wish would be interested in you. We talked, we had a great conversation. I put on some music. It's Bat Out of Hell. She turned it off, goes, I don't like that. You got to go, baby. You got to go. I used to tell, because this is like one of those, you can use it as a litmus test for somebody you can actually hang around with for a while. One Slick is saying iconic album, and hello to One Slick. Metal Awesome, says Rhaegar, the Grey Stones. I don't know what that's from, but let's see. Eric Boyd, you can't escape hell unless you're saved. Just saying. Well, there you go. Maybe he got saved and he's leaving. I don't know. Not a fan of the LP or artist, but the cover is great, says Jackson. Mill, how you doing, man? Saying, hey, everybody. Whoa, great album. Yes, it is, and a great album cover. Englatine, Meatloaf, Bat Out of Hell. Nice Richard Corbin album cover. I mean, Bernie Wrightson. Of course it's Bernie Wrightson. We all know it's Bernie Wrightson. Let's see. Michael Lee A Day. I knew it was a day. Yeah. Looking through the past hour or so, some albums from my time on here. Great stuff, says Mill. Well, thank you. He had a small radio hit in the 80s that I liked, but I can't recall it now. It wasn't a big hit in the 80s. I'll Go Blind Before I Stop. I'll Go Blind Before I could have been Dead Ringer. Those were two that were released in the 80s, and then he went to Japan for a while because it was huge over there and damn near forgotten except for this album over here. Does Rose, I meant Meatloaf when he was performing in Saratoga. I think he meant Met. He came to the races one day, and I happened to be standing right next to him. It was so cool. Hopatootie, bless my soul. I really love that rock and roll. That is what Mill says is Meatloaf's best song. That's from the Rocky Horror Picture Show. I never played. Oh my gosh, what was Eddie? I never played Eddie. I did. I played Brad and I played Rocky on one very embarrassing day. Yeah. Let's see. Ignore me. I don't know a thing, says Eric and Boyd. Okay. Let's see. Let's move on to the next. And we have another Styx. It's not Grand Illusion, but I've loved this cover since I first.
I'll be right back.
All right. The dancer in the middle, there's a song on the album called Ballerina, and that fits that. The back of the album cover is a pair of ballet shoes. Ballerina ends the album. It is an epic hit. It's an epic song. It was never a hit. The hit off this, of course, is the title. This is the first time we've got Tommy Shaw with the band, and he brought a song called Crystal Ball to it. And it was very much a low-key kind of thing. And then, of course, Dennis DeYoung stixed it and made it huge and awesome. Fantastic album, but I've always liked this. I've always just liked the ambience. Like this is something, and I actually have done this while I'm listening to the album. I can look at the album cover and actually calmed me as a teenager. Incredible to me. I've always loved this album. I do agree Grand Illusion is a great album cover. So, but then again, I think most of them are. The only one I'm a little iffy on as far as the original 13, of course, not the ones that are just like Styx and Styx 2. But Cornerstone, I never understood what that was. I mean, somebody's pointing a flashlight at a corner of a stone. It's 2 on the nose. But this one, yeah, I dig this one. I dig this one because it is representative of the feel of the album. And of course, you got with the Crystal Ball and the Ballerina, the 2 greatest songs on the album here. Let's see. There we go. See if anybody, Meatloaf Fangirl says Desert Rose. That is awesome. That is awesome. But there you go. That's why I have this album cover up here. And this is another one. Grand Illusion is the one that a lot of normies go to, but I would highly recommend this album as well. All right, we'll move on. Oh, this is the other Meatloaf. Okay. Welcome to the neighborhood, baby. I love the noir style on this. It reminds me of like a pulp magazine image. And that's why I love this cover. The songs on it they're Meatloaf. I love them. I played this for my family and they're like, oh, it sounds exactly like that last one. It sounds, oh, hey, I got an actual comment on the Crystal Ball. They think everything sounds alike to them, but I got to tell you, this one has songs like Not a Dry Eye in the House and Read 'em and Weep, and it's amazing. Oh, goodness gracious. 45 Seconds of Ecstasy, which is a lady singing 45 seconds of ecstasy over like sex sounds and everything. It's a lot of fun. But yeah, I put this up. I love this album cover mainly because the noir look to it. Cornerstone was one of my 2 very first albums I purchased on cassette along with Rush Permanent Waves. Used my newspaper delivery money, was 11 or 12, I think. I love Cornerstone, the album. It's a great album. And that's also one of the ones Dennis DeYoung got fired off of Cornerstone, the album, because he produced a song called Babe, which there's only #1 hit. And on the album, they put that on the album, and it was the Styx's only #1 hit. And the studio wanted to put out a B-side. It was a song off the second side of the album called First Love, which is another rock ballad. And the rest of the band was so afraid to put it out because then they would become a soft rock band. But yeah, it's pretty good. Also, there is a song about marijuana on that called Light Up, which, yeah, there you go. Smoky dope. How about Bad Company? Bad Company. How would you rank this album? That I honestly would have to look at the songs first, but yeah. Next up, oh, Eric's not here, so I'm going to skip over the next album cover because that was his pick, and I will go to, I don't care if this is a movie poster. I don't care. It's effing awesome, guys. That's Purple Rain by Prince and the Revolution. I've always loved this. I think Vanity in the background there is great. The lighting on the street, the smoke coming up. Prince actually looks cool for once. That's one thing I never thought, except for on this album cover. Even in the movie, Prince don't look cool. Prince looks like a skinny little girl all the time. I know they try to make him look cool. God bless him. I think Prince is the second greatest musical artist to come out of the 80s, the first being Weird Al Yankovic. I mean, he is absolutely fantastic, but he always looked like a little girl, except for this album cover makes him look great. This album cover is awesome. The old album is great too, by the way. Love it, but yeah. And yeah, Vanity looks good in any lighting. Let's see what we got here. Purple Rain was pretty badass. It was, sir. I rewatched the movie and I was like, oh, really? I need to watch it again to see where it lands, because I'm like, is this one of those things where I loved as a teenager, but when I watch it as an adult, it just doesn't make it? I'm going to give it one more chance. Great Prince album cover. Sign of the Times is another cool one. I love Sign of the Times. As a matter of fact, so is Raspberry Beret if we're just talking album covers. But Raspberry Beret is also a great cover. The weird thing is Prince has a lot of great album covers. I like Graffiti Bridge as an album cover. The album sucked. I don't say that very much about a lot of Prince, but that one really did. But Purple Rain, Eric, do you have anything to say about it?
Not that it hadn't already been said.
All right. Let me get some more comments. I have the Batgirl homage. I sold some. Did I sell you this one? I sold somebody the homage to on the auction. Excuse me. Let's see. The only song I know on Bad Company is Bad Company. And let's see. Fun fact, Ed Boon, co-creator of MK, big Prince fan, from what inspired their Purple Ninja Rain and Lightning and Water Powers, says MK. Oh, that one got banned from the... I knew a girl named Nikki. Yep, that one. Yeah. You could tell she was a sex queen. My mom didn't want me to own this because she heard about Darling Nikki, and she didn't know I had it. It's like I went to the record store, I bought it, they sold it to me, and I had it in the car, and she was like, "You have this album?" And we just listened to it. She liked everything but that one, so whenever she was with me, we would skip it, which is something. And I'm glad they put it at the end of the first side. Maybe that's why they did it, because she would skip it, and that's tough to do back in the day of cassette tapes, you know, that kind of thing. But yeah. Alrighty, let's see. I like Little Red Corvette, Raspberry Beret, and of course Purple Rain, says Desert Rose, Starfish and Coffee. I like from its earlier albums a song called Delirious. I laughingly played Jack You Off for Kale. That's off of the same album as Delirious, but the Raspberry Beret was awesome. I loved his version of Kiss, and Diamonds and Pearls is amazing. Yeah, Prince is a great artist. All right, them things mothers never knew and best they didn't. Yep. All right, let's go back because I'm going to leave you to this one because I have to hit the head. I'll be right back, but here is your cover.
All right. Full disclosure, I've never listened to this all the way through, but we've got this album cover hanging at the store, and it's pretty self-explanatory. But I definitely recommend just going on to YouTube, type in the song, and listen to it. It's hysterical. It's I mean, if people may not be familiar with Porter Wagner, he's the one that introduced Dolly Parton, to the world in the mid '60s. Let's see what we got here. Let's see. Like the feature off the Batman soundtrack. I like Manic Monday. That's a cool song. Did not know Prince wrote it. I didn't either. Yeah, it's Prince track. I'm old. We couldn't even escape the song and video during that time. So that guy's husband, she has that. No, that's the guy with the bowling bag. That's his missus there on the couch. And looks at it, that dude's doing him a favor. The thing about that cover is that the wife and her boyfriend are listening to a Porter Wagner LP. He also wrote Nothing Compares. I did not know that either. Yes, he is Desert Rose. He was, like I said, he was big in the 60s and 70s. If you're old enough, you remember him from commercials for a product called Breeze detergent. Yeah, which I think did with Dolly, but yeah, that's like I said, it's one of those covers that just makes me laugh every time I look at it. Let's see what else. I wish I could control so I could go to the next album. All right. Almost made it.
There we go.
All right.
Okay. Yeah. By the way, I do dig this album cover. All righty. And
Well, if you listen to the song, how do you pronounce it? Or Angel? Yeah, that is how that song ends.
This cover is One Bad Decision to Murder.
Yeah, exactly. I told you the last lyric, and yeah, they get there.
Yep. Okay, let's see what everybody else is saying. I like the future off the Batman soundtrack. I like Manic Monday.
I did my job.
Oh, you did? Hot.
Yeah.
Damn. Okay, let's move on then. All righty.
I left off there. Coco's fine. Then I remember Porter Wagner being on He Off a few times. Very underrated show musically.
I saw clips and now I want to watch the show again.
Well, it's actually it's underrated, period.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I all I appreciated about it when I first started watching was the girls in the shorts. I mean, when I was too young to supposedly supposed to like girls, but now you go back and realize that. I mean, guitar gods will rave about how good Roy Clark was.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And
I've seen clips.
No slouch. And then I said, if you like old timey country, there was a lot to like about that show. And I said wholesome humor, and I said it's aged pretty well. All right. I never forgave Elvis Presley for ripping off this cover.
Really?
Yeah, the nerve of him. No, it's obviously as an homage. Well, the lettering to an Elvis Presley record.
Okay.
Although Elvis he's holding the guitar in his, and I guess there's Drummer Jones is smashing his on this. So this my number 2 record of all time. Has been for 40 plus years. I had a cassette of it that cut off like 10 seconds into Train in Vain, which is the most well-known song on here and my absolute least favorite of the 17 songs on here. This was just an incredible record.
I know damn near nothing. I know London Calling. I wasn't a big fan. Yeah. I wasn't a big fan of The Clash. I put this up here because I know you loved it. And I know you loved it. So I was like, okay, I'll put this up and you'll have something to talk about as well.
Well, the Clash had loftier ambitions than just to be a punk band. That's why I was wondering if Sid Vicious had lived, would the Sex Pistols have evolved at all? We'll never know. But I said the state or the Clash were very heavily influenced by reggae, R&B, and Mick Jones ended up he formed Big Audio Dynamite post Clash. Joe Strummer went into more Americana-ish sound, so they were very talented musicians that just happened to be doing this, while punk was a thing in its infancy. But they did it better than damn near anybody. Oh, is it? How do you pronounce it? Or Angel or whatever?
The Damned?
No, yeah. How do you pronounce the username there?
I just say Hero Angel.
Okay.
Because it's Hero Angel. Yeah.
Brother, the other day, my brother pops in a Damned record that's all covers of songs from the late 70s and early 80s. And I go, did they make this back then? He goes, no, this like last year. most of them are still alive, and it's great. It's one of those. I like the Dam, but it's like, you ever have something where a covers record you like better than any of their originals?
Yes.
That's this one for me, because they do some songs that you never hear anybody cover. And if I had anything resembling a memory, I'd be able to name a couple of them. But
there was a I know it's I'm gonna get a little shit for it, but there's a Tommy Shaw Jack Blades album where the two of them it's called Influences, and they just it was a full-on cover album. And they have I Can See for Miles, and they had oh goodness gracious, Your Move, which is one of my favorite songs from the 70s, but they did it better. So I thought the harmonies and everything was just so spot on it. Let's see. I think the first time I saw the Clash, says Eric and Boyd, they performed on the Fridays TV show. I heard their music, but first time I saw them perform. Mill says Train in Vain was a really cool song, just didn't sound Clash-ish. At the time, almost sounded like it was meant to be on radio. I agree with everything Brina's saying about this one. I still say Undead Quinn, says One Slick. Yep, that works too. That's Undead Quinn, by the way, Hero Angel.
Oh,
Henry, I think that the art of the album cover was just responsible for sales as the music Kiss Destroyer. I was wondering, do I want to put a Kiss here, and which one? Destroyer is the four of them jumping, basically. I was racking my brains which one to put on. I didn't put any this time around, but there's plenty out there. We don't. This doesn't have to be the last time we do this. It could have been on Alice Cooper albums, same producer, Bobbins, and there's a ton of Alice Coopers that could have been here. I could do just a Alice Cooper album cover ranking anyway, but yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I said, okay, the album's called Not Like Everybody Else, the Kinks song. It was done in January. It came out in January of this year. There's a Ghost in My House, Summer in the City, Making Time, Gimme Danger, See Emily Play, which is on the first Pink Floyd album when Sid was there, when they were great. I'm Not Like Everybody Else, Heart Full of Soul, You Must Be a Witch, When I Was Young, and The Last Time. And it's just an incredible choice of songs to do a cover album with.
Yeah. Have a good
Damn, too. I mean, the guy can still sing.
Hold on just a sec. Jackson is going to bounce. Storm's moving in fast. We've actually had rain all night tonight as well. Have a good night. Please take care and be safe. Let's see. Question: which would you rather listen to, opera music or rap if a gun is to your head? I would probably prefer opera because I love listening to people who do something so freaking well. And rap doesn't have that for me. Like, I'm not sure I could tell great rap from poor rap in a lot of cases. I mean, in all honesty, but a great opera singer, is a great opera singer. Let's see. And Jim was saying he didn't know that Danny Elfman was the lead singer for Oingo Boingo. Yeah. Oingo Boingo. First two albums are great. Listen, even some lyrics aged awfully, even though, that's Hero Angel. I understand. I'm surprised you didn't know. I'm just saying you're making me feel old because I knew, says Eric and Boyd. Jim's my age, so there you go. Opera is amazing, actually, says Rhaegar. You just shoot me now, says Tony. The only thing I don't like about opera is the singing. I don't listen to limited rap. My rap taste is Flint Flossy, says One Slick. All right, let's move on to the next album cover. I just thought, I have no idea about this one. I just thought it looked cool, so I put it up there. Do you know anything?
Yeah, I think it's electric something. I said, my favorite T-Rex is the Slider.
All right.
But he was lumped
Electric Warrior.
Electric Warrior. Yeah, I said I I'm not sure what songs are on what records because I have several of them. They do a song called "Whatever Happened to the Teenage Dream" that is just awesome. Yeah, Metal Guru, which leads off the Slider. Yeah, I love these guys. I can't remember, like what the main guy's name was.
Yeah, I just when I was looking through. One of the ways I picked these albums was I went through a couple of top 100 album lists. I was like, oh, that one looks good. And I just pulled them in. This one just stood out to me as being a really cool album, but I don't know. T-Rex, what did they do? What song may I have heard from them? Because generally there's a song out there and you're like, I don't know who did that one.
Okay, again, Bang the Gong, Get It On. It's the least T-Rex sounding song of the bunch, and I could, even if I can't think of the titles, there are 30 songs they do that I like better.
Right.
Yeah, Mark Bolan. I always get him. I always get him confused with Tommy Bolan. Both of them died too young. But
Henry saying Ted Nugent, Weekend Warriors, cool album, cool cover as well. Yep, and Get It On, Bang a Gong. Okay, there we go. All righty, let me move on, and we're getting to the end of this. I only have 4 albums left to go. Yeah,
that's them also.
Yeah. Okay. Here we go. It's Beatles Revolver. It's one of my. It is one of my favorite covers from the Beatles. Well, it's definitely in the top 15. Anyway, I just dig this. I like the art style. I like the photos on it. It's just kind of, what is it that's in their minds that will end up on the albums and everything. Obviously, it's a great album, but I've always dug on this particular thing. I don't know. It's very creative, and it's a hell of a lot more creative than just a picture or something like that. It's
take a minute to appreciate the 4 Beatle members, the drawings that have no resemblance to real. There's no definition to the eyes. Like look at John Lennon, just a line coming out of a nose and tiny lips. Yet that's him. You can tell who each 4 of them are. Now, granted, if you just put the George picture up by itself, you wouldn't know that's George. But the other 3 you can. And that's amazing.
Yeah, it's done very well. I thought the eyes were real.
They might be honestly, inside the things they are. I didn't realize that.
I honestly thought, okay, cool. So it's not just me, because that's one of the things I always saw about it.
You pointed out, but there are no lashes, no anything. It's just that you can tell who they are. I mean, I couldn't do that. I could try to do that, but I don't think I'd succeed.
Yeah, that's one of the things I've liked about this. I don't know if they are real, but I always perceived it to be as such, because there's a different layer to them. Even if it's their eyes and it's been animated over, it always looked like that to me. So that's one of the reasons why I dug on this particular cover. I actually I told myself. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say, I disagree with Ken. I think Ringo looks dead nuts on.
Oh, hell yeah. I think even though it's just a profile, definitely Paul McCartney comes off the easiest to tell who's who. And you're right. I think remove George Harrison, put it solo without the context of the other 4 Beatles. Maybe you're going to be lost on that one. But I agree that they look like who they're supposed to be. Are you and Eric, asks MK, familiar with Garbage by any chance? The lead singer, chick Shirley Manson, was one of their big hits. I'm only happy when it rains. No, I'm not very familiar. When you said Garbage, all I heard was Garbage Truck off of the Scott Pilgrim album. But yeah,
they had the unfortunate. Once Upon a Time new release day was Tuesday, And
Yeah.
they had the misfortune of releasing an album on Tuesday, September 11th, 2001. Fortunately, they recovered, but that's there's those releases got a little overshadowed.
All right.
But
Hold on.
Shirley Manson probably known every bit as much for her acting, because she's been in several TV shows.
Let's see. Mill's saying he finds this to be mid. This has Taxman. This one has Got to Get You Into My Life, Eleanor Rigby, Here, There, and Everywhere, Good Day, Sunshine, I'm Only Sleeping, Yellow Submarine, and I Want to Tell You. Those are the ones that I know and I like off of this one. So not my favorite album, but I love the album cover.
That's where
I found both the cover and go ahead. Sorry.
I always thought Eleanor Rigby was on Rubber Soul. Clearly it's not.
Let's see. Ringo doesn't look like Ringo. We talked about that. Grateful Dead, Steal Your Face. Not sure if the name of the album, not a Dead fan at all. MK thinks that album covers like this look like Monty Python. Kind of do. I get the same feeling from Yellow Submarine, even though it's more art than it is this, but they had an art style used in Monty Python, and I always thought it was kind of similar. Good night, One Slick. Take care. We are actually almost done with this. I know who Garbage is. MK says Eric and Boyd. I do like their music, even if some of the songs are a bit gay. Let's see. Manson had good stage presence. They were strong in the 90s, says Mel. There you go. Sorry about that. Let's see. Just kind of, let's see. Yeah, typical Beatles bubblegum songs. Stones were better. It's always a battle between instead of both together. But I disagree. No. I think the Beatles are better. But hey,
who said that?
Mill.
I agree with him. I mean, I like the Stones better. I'm not. I won't go as far as say they were better than the Beatles, but their music definitely, hit me more than the Beatles. And like I said, the Beatles' early stuff was bubblegum pop for teeny boppers. The Stones' early stuff was basically a bunch of blues covers. So their roots were slightly different. I think they both did tremendous work in the mid to late 60s. In the Stones, obviously, into the 70s. The Beatles, by that time were solo. And here's one. Best album by a solo Beatle.
I actually don't know. The only one I've heard was Imagine. Oh, George Harrison, Cloud Nine is the other one I heard. So
okay, well, I think the best was a Harrison, but not that one.
Okay, that's the only one I've heard. So yeah,
you've never heard All Things Must Pass? My Sweet Lord.
No, after I heard John Lennon Imagine, why the fuck do I want to listen to more? Even as as a teenager, before my dad sat me down and said you should listen to the lyrics. Even before that, I was, I don't know, just wasn't hit by it. I don't know. That's not true. There are some good solo Paul McCartney and
Paul McCartney and Wayne.
I never heard. I never heard. I was thinking, because some of the things I would contribute to the Beatles is actually solo Lennon. I saw the movie. There was a documentary movie called Imagine John Lennon, and I had that soundtrack. So that's the only solo Lennons that I really did listen to, was the Imagine soundtrack. Alrighty. Let me see. We're going to get a couple of these. George Harrison's Brainwash album is good, says Tony Hayes. Let's see. And then there's talk about garbage. Let's move on. Let me go to the next one. And this is, I forgot who this is, but I thought it was a good album.
So Led Zeppelin, Into the Outdoor, isn't it?
Into the Outdoor. Yeah, Into the Outdoor. I was looking for Led Zeppelin albums. I was like, because everybody knows Zoquo, right? And every time I see, this is the greatest album cover of all time, it's always Houses of the Holy with the kids climbing up the rocks. And I was looking, I say, you know what? This one needs a little bit more love.
They're senior
like the
citizens now.
Say again.
They're damn near senior citizens.
Yeah, I mean they're old as heck. Yeah, but yeah, I thought this one was pretty cool just for the noir setting. I like the smear of light on it as well. That kind of stood up. But literally, I picked this today because I was not going to. I was going for the Houses the Holy album cover, and I saw this one and said, nope, I'm going to put this one on instead. In Through the Outdoor, one of my favorite Zeppelin albums, Fool in the Rain all day long, says Mill. I've got to admit, I've been wanting to revisit Led Zeppelin again. I stopped listening to them about 20 years ago. Like, I will change, except for maybe going to California and Misty Mountain Hop. I really don't listen to Zeppelin anymore, but I've got the mothership, and I figured, yeah, I'm going to put that on and listen to it. In all honesty, I was going to put this on, but I was looking through the Doors at the same time Eric jumped on, and it's time to get going. Doors, Morrison Hotel is one of my favorite album covers. It's with the Doors, the Scott Morrison. It's like you're looking at them through a window. Yeah, so I do agree with that one being a great one. Haha, the Tolkien song. Exactly. All righty. I've only got 2 more albums to go. One is so iconic, and it is the album that has probably been on the Billboard charts longer than any other. But you got to admit, it's a very simple and very effective cover. It's Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon.
Oh, I thought it was a prototype of the rainbow flag.
There you go. Yeah. They're doing the rainbow flag through the prism. This is one of those where I think that had I not included it, you could not trust my opinions. Like this one absolutely has to be on any top whatever list of album covers. It's very simple, but I think it's very effective. The album itself is all right. There's songs I like, some I don't. Pink Floyd's almost, in my opinion, like Led Zeppelin, where I don't know, I might be done. But there you go. What do you say about this one?
Yeah, very effective album. I mean, there's just about, I would say this has close to 100% pop culture saturation.
Uh-huh.
The album itself, very good. Not necessarily my thing. I like it. I don't love it. Because I said, I personally think I would have liked them better long term had Sid stayed and not gone. But obviously it ended up working out for the band because I don't think they would have ever gotten as big either.
Yeah.
I mean, this album, as I said, good Lord, was on the Billboard Top 200 for decades.
Yeah, I was 20 when I stopped hearing about this.
You had something that you felt you had to have. Like when I was in high school, this album was already several years old, but it was like required, listening. And it probably stayed that way. It may still be that way. I guess, I'm good if I never hear another note, but apparently each new generation finds it. Whether they know that they're, I said it again, is it because it's that good or is it because it's that ingrained at this point?
I gotta say, Wish You Were Here is more of a favorite. I think mine would be The Wall, Wish You Were Here, and Dark Side of the Moon. But if we're talking straight up Pink Floyd album covers, Animals, every day. The one with the factory. Yeah, every day. I love that one a lot more than this one. But this is iconic. This had to be on the list at some point in time. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I'll wait. I guess I can get some comments here. I've never listened to either Zeppelin or Pink Floyd, says King K. Mill says this is a timeless cover, Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon. Wish You Were Here was a great cover and album, says Grand Admiral. Absolutely agree with that. Pure example of simpler is better. And that's from Mill. Iconic album or The Wall. The Wall is probably more well known and iconic than this one, in my opinion.
I don't agree.
You don't?
No, because this had an 8-year head start.
This one had or The Wall had a movie.
I know, but this was on the charts for 30 years.
Animals, Mill agrees. Animals is my absolute favorite. I remember the drummer was bringing it on. I thought he was going to die. All right. And we have, I think it was a law that everyone had to either have this Journey, Escape, or Foreigner 4. Yes, it was in the suburbs you were issued. All righty, kids. We go from one iconic cover to possibly the most iconic cover. It was 24 years ago today when Sgt. Pepper began to play. I got this. I mean, this is absolutely iconic. It's a great cover. All the people on it, the band, the flowers, the colors just pop. I absolutely love this album. This is my first Beatle album, and I absolutely love the cover of it itself. This is one of those where you can stare at for quite a while. And it is also one, somebody mentioned it earlier, when we went to cassettes and then CDs and we lost the album, the album art, we lost something. And this is proof of it. This is proof of it. The detail you miss when you go onto the smaller medium, I think is, it's, I wouldn't say tragedy in the way of like an earthquake or something, but artistically, yes, it's tragic. What do you think, Breen?
Okay. Couple things.
Okay.
I wish I could remember the channel, but there's a 20-something minute video that goes through everybody on the cover, why they were chosen. And the couple people that are like obscure because they weren't able to use them, or like somebody wanted too much money to be on to have their image shown. And there's some interesting, reasons and choices on there. It's the little puppet, or the little, like whatever that in the corner says, "Welcome to the Rolling Stones." Nice touch. But there is a band called the Baroques that were, orchestral and ahead of their time, busting their balls like Brian Wilson, making pet sounds. And this was going to change the world. They thought this was going to be huge. And their label released it the same day as Sgt. Pepper. No one remembers the Baroques. In fact, I'm sure they went Baroque. But it's just like you talk about, it's bad enough to have an album come out on September 11, 2001. You're fucked the way fans and family of Aldous Huxley were fucked because he had the misfortune to die on November 22nd, 1963. No one remembers that. And the same thing with these poor guys. And I've heard the album. It's fantastic. But like I said, you went up again. It's like you come at the king, you best not miss. Well, everybody missed.
Yeah, it's a Fred Kapp did that. It's the same band too.
What?
Fred Kapp was on after the Beatles on Ed Sullivan.
Oh,
the fuck cares?
There you go.
I don't know what he did. I know the name because it's one of those things where it's like, oh man, can you imagine following the Beatles on Ed Sullivan? Then I looked it up, and it's like, now I know the name. I don't know what he did on Ed Sullivan, but he had to follow the Beatles. So here you go. A guy gets, woo, he's going to be awesome. And Sgt. Pepper. Yeah, that would suck.
In case anybody in the audience is going, I know that name, Aldous Huxley. Where do I know it from? There you go. Grand Admiral said, yeah. I said, it's weird. I've read Brave New World, never read 1984. But it was good. It was an excellent book.
Yeah. Let's see. Great cover. You can look at it all day, discover so many things, says Eric and Boyd. The songs on Sgt. Pepper are way better than the cover, in my opinion. The only Beatles album I actually liked, the White Album, is a fairly distant second. I like both of them. Yeah, but I'm more of a Beatles fan, definitely more than the Rolling Stones. I like the Duran Duran, but I like Depeche Mode okay too, says Desert Rose. Everyone take care. Have a blessed night. You take care, Eric and Boyd. Led Zeppelin 3 is pretty cool album cover as well. Is that the Led Zeppelin 3? Is that no, that's the colors and the flowers and all such with it written. Yeah. Eglantine, great album. My favorite personally for the Beatles. They have so many. Another Monty Python like cover and Duran Duran or Duran Duran for me. Or Depeche Mode. I like Depeche Mode, but Duran Duran are okay. Yeah, I'm more of a Duran Duran fan than I wasn't into. They called it what was it? Prerogative or whatever they called it back in the 80s or something. Progressive.
Well,
Was Fred Cap related to Andy Cap? Yes. What was it?
No, Depeche Mode would not be considered progressive. It would, if
Okay.
I, like, I would say maybe synth pop, because I don't recall them ever playing guitars. So I don't know exactly what you'd call them, but yeah, I never, I couldn't get into Depeche Mode. So I'm with you on Duran Duran there.
Henry is saying that the Stones and the Beatles talked to each other and said, let's not release albums at the same time, which that would be very smart business. But there you go. Duran Duran was smoking. Yeah. Duran Duran could not get past the 90s, unfortunately. Yeah, there's a lot of bands like that. Actually, one of the first videos I did, it ended up being turning into something called Comic Books Were Better. There was a video said that great comics that died in the 80s. You could do the same with bands. Great bands that just could not go further.
There's not many that have a lifetime shelf life. It's mostly, most of the ones you find that do are individual artists, because bands, whether it's egos getting in the way or you can't evolve as a group, because like I said, I mean, because there's always going to be that, well, we should do this, no, we should do that. That's why most bands end up breaking up.
Sticks.
Now, I know the Rolling Stones have been around for 60 years, but they weren't together for all 60 of them either. I mean, they did a record 2 years ago. I mean, can you imagine? They're like Rolling Stone babes. You go from Marianne Faithfull to Sydney Sweeney. That tells me you've been around a while, because she's in the video, and it also tell you how far we had gone down the toilet. That the blue haired land whales on Blue Sky. Remember how bent out of shape they got at it being in that video, because she was hanging out of a skimpy top and writhing on the ground.
I saw something about this. Yeah. Ridiculous. Yeah. The bands who are
they would have never survived the 80s. Actually, they would have, because they wouldn't have turned into those blue-haired land whales.
There were no blue-haired land whales back then. I mean, we had the PMRC, but that's just about it. I hate hearing people talk about the religious right banning everything when the Democrats ran the PMRC.
Well, the religious right had no power. They were laughed at.
Yep. But the best thing the PMRC ever did was get labels attached to the albums to let us know what were the cool ones.
I promise you, rappers sent Tipper Gore was on all of their Christmas card lists.
Oh, hell yeah.
She made shoot. I mean, that was there were kids that would buy something. They didn't care what it was, as long as it had parental advisory stickers.
Yep.
That was either they were in on it, or that's the greatest example of the Streisand effect in history.
Yep. Anyway, there you go, gang. That's a big old bunch of my favorite album covers, or ones I thought Eric would like that I put up there. I hope you guys like that. I can see us doing this again. there's a lot of albums from a lot of bands that really do have great covers, and it's good to talk about the music sometimes. And that's what this turned into, and I'm kind of happy about that. Let's see. On Friday, the cover ranking is Richie Rich's Vault of Mystery. That should be fun. Harvey comics are always fun, not to be taken seriously. I remember buying Dennis Leary's No Cure for Cancer. I love that album. That's also the album with Asshole on it, so that's a fun song. I imagine the Stones will eventually be rolling up on stage in wheelchairs before too long, says Henry. The bands, okay, we talked about that one. The bands who played together solely to produce videos quickly died out as MTV stopped playing as many videos. Yeah. That being said, I hope you guys had a great time. Please join us on Friday night at 10:30 for the cover ranking, and then of course the auction on Saturday at 8:30. Mill, I was going to send you an email, and once again, not calling out, just want to know, are you still interested in the books from this last auction? As I'm about to go through them and put some into the boxes and some back into rotation and such. So let me know, and I will chat with you guys and see you on Friday. Take care, and thank you very, very much for watching. Have a good night.
Good night, kids.
Fun times.